Hello, my name is Judy. Welcome to the Liberated Multitasker. Today I have two no-bake recipes for you. One is a frozen strawberry salad, and the second one is a dill pickle dip. So why don't you come join me and see just how easy and tasty these recipes are. Now for our frozen strawberry salad, we're going to start off with Cool Whip. My recipe calls for a large Cool Whip. This is an 8-ounce container. Next time I make this, I will go with a 12 or 16-ounce container of Cool Whip. And I'm just scraping all the good stuff out. Let's not leave any of that behind. And next, I'm adding 1 can of crushed pineapple. Now, before we add this to our Cool Whip, we need to drain off the excess liquid. Now, I love these little Dollar Tree spatulas. They're really good for getting inside of jars and cans to scoop out all the goodness. Next, our recipe calls for 10 ounces of strawberries drained. I would absolutely use fresh strawberries. I had these frozen ones in my freezer, so I decided to use those up first. These are sliced, but feel free to chop them in smaller pieces. So I'm just mixing all of this together. And I'm going to give a suggestion when we're done with this, because I actually did this a little bit backwards. And you'll see why in a minute. Now I'm adding 8 ounces of room temperature cream cheese. And then 3/4 cup of sugar. And I'm mixing this together. And at this point, I'm realizing I should have done things differently. Even though my recipe says mix all together and freeze, my first step should have been to mix the cream cheese and sugar together first, then add the Cool Whip, and then add all the fruit. However, that's not what I did. Spoiler alert, it all ends well. Now, one of you gave me a suggestion to heat up the cream cheese just slightly before mixing it, and I think that's an excellent suggestion I plan to use in the future. Now for our next ingredient, 2 bananas. Now, if you run your thumb up the end of the banana, you should get 3 pieces. You'll see what I mean here. And they're much easier to chop. This recipe also calls for 3/4 cup of chopped pecans. However, I've opted to leave those out due to our family's preference. But please feel free to add them. At this point, I'm adding the last of the ingredients I'm choosing to use and mixing everything together. Making sure it's all mixed well so you don't have any clumps of cream cheese. Now for our last step. Pour it into your casserole dish and freeze. You'll serve this dish frozen. Now it says it's a strawberry salad. However, it can most definitely double as a dessert. I'm just scooping out the last bit of goodness. You know, I hate to leave any of that behind. Just spreading it evenly. And that just about does it. Take a look at that. Our frozen strawberry salad or dessert. I'm going to put the lid on and place it in the freezer. Now for our next recipe. Now we're going to need 2 blocks of cream cheese. I got this cream cheese from Sam's Club. It's Members Mark brand. It needs to be at room temperature so it's soft enough to mix. And I'm just going to mash it up a little bit just to make sure it's good and soft. And we're only going to need 1 other ingredient. I'm going to use my little Ninja. And our next ingredient is going to be dill pickles. I'm using whole baby dill pickles. And once I get the lid open, I'm going to start off with 6. With this recipe, you make it according to your taste. You add as many pickles and or pickle juice until you get the flavor you like. This recipe is also very easy to have. So I have those chopped. I'm just going to add those to the cream cheese and mix and taste. Now, maybe you've heard of dill pickle dip. I had not till a couple of years ago, and I had it at a friend's house. And oh my word, I love it. It is really good with Frito chips. And you know what else I use it for? I use it as a condiment on homemade hamburger buns when my husband grills burgers. I'm not even really a pickle fan, but this dip is so good and so easy to make. And it freezes. I'm actually going to freeze this and use it later when we have some friends over in a couple of weeks. So I'm just going to taste it. I think it's going to need some more pickles. So I'm going to add 3 more. And we're going to see what that does. We're going to give those a quick chop in my handy dandy Ninja. Doesn't take but a second. Scoop it out and mix it all in. Then we'll give it another taste test. Now this dip is really good with Frito corn chips or just we've used Ruffles. I'm just giving this another mix. I'm going to give it another taste. I've decided it needs some pickle juice. So when you add pickle juice, you don't want to add too much. You don't want it to be too liquidy. Look at that. That is so good. Please comment below and let me know what you think of this dip. And if any of you happen to try it as a condiment on your burger, please let me know what you think. I think it's divine. I'm almost done scooping it out. It's a pretty thick dip. So you'll want a pretty sturdy chip. Corn chips, Ruffles. I'm actually using tortilla chips today because that's all I have in the house. And there you have it. Dill pickle dip. Just 2 ingredients. I'm going to put the lid on and get it ready for the freezer. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please share and subscribe and like. Try these recipes. Let me know what you think. And I hope to see you soon.